Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine you've got this static HTML page just sitting there. Our deep dive today, it's all about what makes that page come alive, how it becomes, interactive. We're talking about the core stuff, the document object model, the DOM and browser events, the real connective tissue of the web. And our mission really is pretty straightforward. We want to pull out the absolute essential knowledge you need to really get a handle on user interaction, how components behave. Think of the DOM like the skeleton, and events are maybe the nervous system. We need to know how to navigate that skeleton and kind of control those nerve signals.
Exactly. And fundamentally, you have to start with the DOM itself. It's basically the map, right? The programmatic interface for the page. It's that tree-like structure that JavaScript uses to see and, more importantly, change what the user sees on the screen.
Okay, so before changing anything, you got to find it first. Well, like if I click a button on a page with, say, 10 buttons, how does the code know which button? What's the essential toolkit there?
It's for selection. Right. Well, the main tools use CSS selectors, which are super powerful. For grabbing just one specific thing, you'll probably use query selector. That's the versatile one. If you need a whole bunch of things, like maybe all items in a list, then you'd reach for query selector all. And yeah, there's still get element by it if you know the specific ID. It's fast. But query selectors, they give you way more flexibility.
Okay. And here's where it gets really interesting, I think, for anyone learning this. That query selectoral, you mentioned it gives back a list, a node list, and that's different from just getting a single element back, right? Why is that difference so crucial? People seem to stumble on this.
Oh, absolutely. It trips people up all the time. Because a node list looks like an array, it feels a bit like one, but crucially, it isn't a full JavaScript array. It's array-like. What that means in practice is you don't automatically get all those handy methods like .map or .filter or .reduce. If you try to use those directly on a node list, boom, your code just breaks.
Okay. So you need an extra step.
Exactly. You often need to convert it into a proper array first if you want that full power. It seems small, but knowing that's often the difference between code that just kind of works and code that's efficient and well-structured. Then yeah, once you have your element or elements, changing them is often simple. You use properties like .text content or maybe .inner HTML for content or the .style property to tweak how it looks.
Okay, got it. So we found our element. We've maybe changed its text. Now the interaction part.
Right.
Wiring it up so it does something when someone, say, clicks it.
Yeah.
Or presses a key. That's the event listener, right?
Mm-hmm.
But hold on. Before we get into how events travel, what about stopping things, the control mechanisms?
Yes. Crucial safety controls. The first one you absolutely must know is event.prevent default. Honestly, the number of times I've debugged something where the whole page reloads unexpectedly, only to find out I forgot to call prevent default on a link, or especially a button inside a form, it just stops the browser doing its default thing.
Okay, yeah. Stops the form submission reload. Got it. What's the other main one?
The other big one is event.stop propagation. This one's a bit more involved because it ties into how events move through the DOM. Think of it as like hitting the emergency brake on the event's journey.
Its journey. Events travel.
They absolutely do. That's the whole concept of event propagation. An event doesn't just magically appear on the button you clicked. It actually goes through 3 distinct phases. A journey down the DOM tree and then back up.
Okay. Tell me more. 3 phases.
Right. So first is the capturing phase. This is the descent. The event starts way up high at the window usually and travels down through all the parent elements until it reaches the actual target you clicked on.
Down first.
Then phase 2, the target phase. This is where the event actually fires on the element you intended, the button, the link, whatever it was.
Makes sense.
And then phase 3, and this is the one most developers interact with most often, the bubbling phase. The ascent. Now, the event travels back up the DOM tree from the target element through its parents, heading back towards the window. And critically, by default, most event listeners you attach, they run during this bubbling phase.
Okay. Bubbling up. That's why stop propagation is so important. And like that example where you have a button inside a div, both have click listeners.
Exactly that scenario. If the button's click listener calls event.stop propagation, that event starts bubbling. But it gets stopped right there at the button. It never reaches the parent div. So any listener on that div waiting for a click, it just won't hear it. The outer message in that example never logs. The bubbling was halted.
Wow. Okay. That paints a much clearer picture. So what does this all mean? When you put it all together, it feels like really mastering this DOM toolkit, selecting elements precisely, changing them, and then knowing how to use prevent default and stop propagation correctly. That gives you incredibly fine-grained control over exactly how your interface behaves, doesn't it?
Precisely. You get that exact control. And, for a final thought to leave you with, consider event delegation. It's a really common high performance pattern, especially when you have like thousands of similar elements, maybe list items. That entire technique, it relies completely on understanding the bubbling phase. So think about this. How can you use that bubbling knowledge to manage potentially thousands of interactive items with just one single event listener way up on a parent element? Understanding propagation unlocks that kind of efficiency. That's the power you get from this deep dive.